2017 Volkswagen Jetta with a 1.4 turbo. Going to do the water pump. So I got it up in the air just a little bit on blocks on the tires. So the first thing you need to do is remove your battery. So you want to disconnect the negative first. It's 10 millimeter, and then you can disconnect the positive 10 millimeter, and then remove the hold down. I'm pretty sure that's a 13. Gotta get used to Volkswagen. So then we can remove the hold down, and we can remove the battery. Then we can get access to the water pump, which is back here underneath all those hoses. So we'll get going on that. Then you want to remove the battery tray. It has 3 bolts, 10 millimeter head bolts. 1, 2, 3. And then the positive cable fastens to it. A little fastener would broke off. Now you can get your battery tray out. Okay, dust all the dirt out of it. All right, so now you can actually get more access in there. So then you need to undo this terminal, the connector. I hate these connectors, man. All right. What I do on Volkswagen connectors, I'll push it together real much as possible. Take a flat blade screwdriver in here, go like that, and then I'll pry it down just a little bit, and then I can pull it off. Or you can get a long pick and go in there and pick up the little tab that's sitting in there, right there at the bottom. And you can pull that off, okay? So, next, this is kind of gonna be in the way. Kind of go like that. What you want to do is just kind of pick it up a little bit. Be careful you don't break it, okay? Get a bungee cord under the hood, pick it up like that, get it out of the way. All right, so you got coolant, and coolant. Everything's coolant on the back of this baby. I took out this torque screw, went right here, into this heater hose or whatever. It goes into the back of that throttle body, I guess. Remove this clamp off of here up to there, and you can raise up this hose as long as you got that off of that clamp. That's a T30. Torx bit T30. Then you want to take the hose off of the cooler, which is that one. Push the clamp off, twist the line. Be careful you don't twist the aluminum. Get that off of there. Pull a little bit, let it drain a little bit, and then see where it's dripping on the floor. Put your pan there, and then go ahead and let it drain for a little bit. And also you can take off this hose right here. Get that one off of there. Careful with it, all right? And you can go ahead and push this one up out of the way also. So you can see what's going on. You got this one here in the way, it's fastened to that. You got another hose clamp right there. You want to undo that one also. Undid that fastener. Undid the other hose. Stuffed it over there. I stuffed it right here. I stuffed that one right there. So now we're getting closer. I got this one here we gotta get off also. All right, get this lower hose off. Next thing, you got a wire harness goes right here, got a retainer right here, you gotta push a little round circle, gotta push it in, and you can pull this off, but mine broke. Looks like this. And then you got the 5 screws, so we're gonna work on that next. Okay, I got 5 screws loose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Behind that harness, 5. Right there. All right, all those bolts are out for the water pump. Now you got the belt cover over here on top. You got a wire harness that goes through here. You got 1 fastener and another fastener. You got 2 fasteners on this wire harness. You got a bolt there and a bolt here. But you got to remove this one right here. Shoot, lost my bolt. Goes right here. Goes onto a little vacuum port right here. It goes into the back of the head. Need to remove that. Twist this like PCV valve hose out. Pull it out. Gives you access to this upper bolt on top. And you can go ahead and remove those. Look like this. Those are also a T30. So, and now I can remove my cover. Remove this cover. You got to pull the pump out a little bit. And then you can take the pump and pick it up a little bit. And you pull on it towards you. And then the belt folds off. And then here's the pump. All right. Baby was leaking. All right. The only thing that's on is the seal O-rings. And they're over here. So just clean all that surface off. And I had to find my little screw I dropped. All right. We'll see. Okay. Should have took that baby off. Okay, you got your surface all cleaned up. Make sure you have all your bolts. Try to find them as best as possible. And cleaned up the surface. Got my new pump. Put a little Silk Glide on there. And I got my belt on there. So what I'm going to do is put the pump down in there. And I'm going to try to put the belt around the cam gear in the back. And then pull down on the pump and line up all the holes. That's my way. All right, hold off on the belt first, okay? First you want to do is get the pump down in there. Get it past this, the line coming off the oil cooler. Oops, excuse me. All right, so now it's sitting down on top of the trans, all right? So now it's movable down here so that I can line everything back up. Okay, before, if you didn't get that down below that nipple on that cooler, you're having a hard time. So what I'm gonna do is put my belt around the pump, try to get the belt up onto that gear, pull down on the pump, and get my bolt started. Excuse me. Okay, the pump is just resting there, and I do have the belt around that gear, and it's still on the pump. All right, so I'm gonna carefully line up the pump and put some bolts in it. Okay, I got it down in there. I had a bolt in this hole here, and it felt like it was stopped over on this side, so I had to like pull it out just a little bit and then line it up. And there, now I got my bolt started with a couple threads by hand, okay? Now, belt's still in there, so now, see, I twist it and it gets tighter, okay? So now I can go ahead and start working on my next bolt. Just so you know, I don't have this one really tight. It's probably got a good 1/8 of an inch play to a 1/4 inch play. And then I got my next bolt in the hole. Grab my right hand, grab hold of the pump assembly, pushed it down, and with my left hand, get this bolt started and run that one down. That's why I put a little bit of lube on those seals to help it slide on that back of the block, okay? So now, I'm gonna work on, hopefully I can get this one started. And then I have to push down on the pump, you know, because you're taking the pump and you're twisting it like that. Okay. All right. I got the rest of them started by hand. This one I just had to push the pump down a little bit and got it started. And this one down here got it started. That one right there got it started. So now what I'm gonna do is push down the pump a little bit and snug them up on the bottom and work my way around. Okay, water pump bolts are torqued to 11 foot-pounds. All right, I got the cover in there, but I cheated. Right about here on that cover, I took it to the grinder and I grinded it down a little bit and made it open a little bit more. You can't really see it, but I did. Just enough, about 3/4 of an inch into it, from here to about there. That way when I stick it in here, the cover goes past this nipple, okay? So now I got that done, I can go ahead and put my 2 bolts in it. Got my cover bolts on, push my PCV in there, found my bolt, put my bolt on there with my wire, ground wire. And now I can go ahead and get this wire harness back up in here, plug it in where it goes in the back by here, plugs in there and over here, okay? Plugs in right there. And this one goes up here, right there. All right. Now you can start doing your heater hoses. Heater hose clamp. And then you got another heater hose which goes down to the cooler. All right. So I'm gonna work on that one first. Got the one heater hose down there. Now you got your 2 radiator hoses right here, one there and one there. You can tell one's shorter than the other, one's longer. So you can't mix them up. And you got your little bypass one right here. Those are all set. So now I gotta do the one that goes down to the cooler and up to the upper part of the pump. Got my cooler on top of the water pump. Got my little bracket with my screw. Now, I think that's it. And then I can undo my bungee cord from that. Fasten you in there. Put your connector back on there. And then we can put our battery tray back in. Make sure you clean it all off first, okay? Battery tray is back in, the 3 bolts, and pretty much most of my bolts I put ANSIs on them, so just so you know. All right, now I can put my battery in there, put my hold down, put my clamps on, positive first, negative last. All right, battery's installed. And the terminals are connected, positive first, negative last. And now I can go ahead and start it and see if you hear anything abnormal coming from that area. And then you can go ahead and put some coolant in it. All right, started it up. And I've seen the fluid cycling, flowing through here. That means my water pump's hooked up properly with the belt. So now I put the coolant in it. Now I'm just gonna let it run a little bit so you can get the warmed up and get the air pocket out of it. Just make sure you don't let it run too long without being watched, okay? You don't want to overheat it. So after you had it running a while and you have rev it up a little bit, get the coolant flowing. You want to turn the heat on, make sure you got heat so it's flowing through the heater core. That means you don't have an air pocket in it or anything. So, and now you just make sure you put your cap on, let it cool down, take the cap off again, Double check your fluid level, top it off as needed, and that will complete your water pump for this. And good luck with it. Hardest part was just getting that pump lined up with the bolts. Remember, don't have it real tight because you don't want to twist that gasket when you're turning that water pump to get the other bolts in there. So you leave a little bit of an 1/8 inch gap on the bolts. You can take that pump and move it a little bit. All right. So hopefully that helped you out, and hopefully you can help me out and by subscribing to me, and I appreciate it and thank you.